They freed the wave of Photo Grade. They freed Max B. But I ain't gonna lie, like I know who Max B is. I don't really know. I don't even know why him and Jim Jones beef. I do know about She Can Touch It in Miami on Photo Grade. I think Max B had hit Jim Jones. I ain't gonna say ho, his girl. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. So they finna update me on what the war is.
Max B and Jim Jones were two of the biggest rappers from Harlem to blow up in the rap game.
Right.
But even though they started out cool, ego and jealousy turned them against each other.
Let me hear about
This
it.
is how they went from close homies to starting one of the wildest beefs in rap history.
Need to hear it.
Max B and Jim Jones both grew up in Harlem, which was one of the most dangerous parts of New York at the time. Harlem in the
Still
late
is.
80s and 90s was hit hard by the crack epidemic, but it also
Paid
created
in
tons of
full.
hip-hop legends like Big L and Dame Dash. Max B grew up in the Abraham Lincoln Projects in East Harlem. His mom was addicted to crack, and she even served a 1.5 years in jail when Max was a kid.
Damn.
So Max was mostly raised by his grandparents in a religious household. Going to church inspired his love for music, and Max started singing in the boys' choir of Harlem.
I feel like that's a canon event in every kid's childhood for the most part, singing in the choir, bro. I used to sing in the choir. I know a lot of guys used to sing in the choir, like, cause as a shorty, your parents or your grandparents, your auntie, uncle, they trying to make sure you were taking the best path possible, and that always leaves with you singing in the damn choir. I don't miss that shit at all.
Choir helped him learn how to sing, which is what gave Max B a different style when he hopped in the booth and started rapping. Growing up, Max was also childhood friends with another Harlem legend, Cam'ron. Cam went to high school at the Manhattan Center for Mathematics with Jim Jones. And
Okay.
That's how Max linked up with him. They shared an interest in music and all wanted to be rappers, but at the same time, they were also heavy in the streets. And before they all blew up, Max B would end up catching the case that put him behind bars before his rap career could ever really take off.
Oh God.
In 1997, Max B was arrested for robbery and spent almost 8 years locked up. He was only 18 when he went in and didn't get out until 2005.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know he did time. I know he got arrested for conspiracy on Fun and Grave, and that's what he did. Like, he had 75, and that's what he cut it down to 17. But I didn't know he did another 8 years before that. This nigga, I don't know, bro. Like, I know New York is a crazy place, but 8 years, then you did 17? Oh my God.
The same year that Max went to prison, Cam and Jim Jones, along with their homie Freaky Zeke, started a crew called Dipset.
Freaky
Cam was already
Zeke.
well known as a rapper in Harlem after being part of a group called Children of the Corn with Big L, Mace, and Cam's cousin Bloodshed. Children of the Corn broke up after Bloodshed was murdered. Cam linked up with Jim Jones to start Dipset. Dipset started making waves in the early 2000s after Cam signed a deal with Dame Dash and Jay-Z's group, Rockefeller Records. Over the next few years, Cam and the rest of the crew went on a major run. In 2002, Cam dropped his classic album, Come Home With Me. They followed that up with the first Dipset album,
Diplomatic Community. What y'all
and
know
Jim
about that?
Jones dropped his first project called On My Way to Church. So, by the time Max B got out in 05, Dipset was on top of the world. Max wanted to switch up how he moved and focus on his rap career. So
Right.
he started kicking it with Cam and the rest of Dipset.
Of course.
Max started doing features and ended up on 2 songs from Jim Jones' second project, Harlem, Diary of a Summer. The next year, Max also did the hook for the Cam'ron song, You Gotta Love It,
Okay.
which was a diss track about Jay-Z. The wild diss and Max's deep singing voice caught people's attention immediately, and suddenly everyone was talking about Max B. The same year, Max also dropped his first mixtape, Million Dollar Baby.
$1 Million Baby.
At that time, Jim Jones also started his own label and spin-off group called Bird Gang. Jim Jones invited Max B to be a member, along with another Dipset affiliate named Stack Bundles.
Okay.
Max worked on Bird Gang's first mixtape, M.O.B., and also appeared on Jim Jones' next mixtape, The 7 Day Theory. Max B not only had the musical talent, but he also had the street cred after serving close to 8 years in prison.
So he had everything he
it seemed
needed.
like Max B was about to be the next Dipset member to blow up. But just when he was starting to gain momentum, Max caught another case that would eventually take him off the streets for good. On September
That's that robbery.
29th, 2006, Max was arrested and charged with murder and conspiracy to commit robbery after police accused him of being the mastermind in a wild heist gone wrong. In 2005, Max met a woman named Gina Conway at
Right.
a Jim Jones show in Myrtle Beach. Gina was a huge Dipset fan and wanted to get backstage to meet Juelz and Cam'ron. But when she found out they weren't there, Gina started kicking it with Max B instead. They ended up dating, and Gina moved in with Max in the Bronx, where she worked at a strip club while Max was grinding with his rap career.
And that's just, I don't know how many come up stories. That's in the movies, that's in the video games, that's in the books. Like, I don't know what it is about rappers and them dating strippers and bottle girls, and like they be actually in love with each other for the grave. Usually it be toxic as hell, but I don't know why rappers be so attracted to strippers and bottle girls. And I think it's because they both live a fast life or something, but I don't get it, gang. Like, you're a Max B. You could have dated anyone. You dated a stripper. Come on now.
but the relationship was pretty toxic.
I can
Gina
see.
was a prostitute, and Max was hooking up with multiple women at the same time.
Well,
They
shit.
kept breaking up, and Gina eventually moved back down south, only for Max to convince her to come back to New York. One time, Gina came back and found Max living with another woman who was pregnant with his baby. Somehow, Gina
Damn.
ended up moving in with Max's brother, Mike, and went back to stripping. The whole story was pretty messed up.
Wild as
Things were
hell.
about to get even crazy. While Gina was stripping in the club, she met a dude named Alan J. Plowden. Jay would always pull up to the club in a brand new white Mercedes with tons of money in the back. One night, Jay started talking to Gina after Max blew her off, and they started hanging out. Jay would always take Gina on shopping sprees and
Right.
spoil her with champagne and new clothes. Gina ended up going with Jay to a Holiday Inn where he was staying with his partner, David Taylor. It turns out that David Taylor and Jay Plowden were running a mortgage and mail fraud scheme.
Okay.
Which is why they had so much cash. Gina Conway saw all the cash Jay had in his hotel room, so she stole his key card on the way out and decided to call Max B to plan a robbery.
Goofy.
According to Gina, she met up with Max back at the Lincoln Projects in Harlem. Max was mad that she'd been gone, so Gina decided to make him jealous by telling him all about Jay Plowden and all the money he had back at the hotel room. Jay told Gina he was going to the club, so she thought it would give her the perfect opportunity to rob the hotel room while he was gone. According to Gina, Max B called his cousin, Kelvin Leardham. Max told Gina that if she took Kelvin to the hotel room to take the money, he'd love her forever.
Ah.
So Gina and Kelvin went back to the Holiday Inn.
It's all over some pee-wee. All over little Dangalang. She just really threw her life away off the grave over some Dangalang. Because he said, I'm gonna love you forever, and she wanted to make him so jealous and so mad. She was like, oh yeah, it's this rich guy I'm messing with, and he's a scammer, and he has all this money, and wooty wooty woo. Goofy ass behavior. Like, this is zero, like, come on, gang. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Why do girls always be so obsessed with street life and street shit and messing with street guys? I don't get it. What do you think is gonna happen you messing with this street nigga? He's gonna do some weird shit. Or he gonna get you involved in some weird situations.
But when they got there, they found Jay in the room with another woman named Giselle Neves. In another wild twist, Giselle Neves was also there to rob Jay Plowden. Giselle saw Jay in his new Mercedes and planned to go back to his hotel room to steal the keys.
Damn, everybody's
Before
gonna
she
rob
had
his
the
ass.
chance, Gina and Kelvin burst into the room. Kelvin and Gina tied up Jay and Giselle and started trashing the room looking for the cash. They couldn't find enough money, so Gina demanded Jay call his partner David Taylor. David was sleeping on another floor and came down when Jay called him. As soon as David came into the room, Kelvin pointed a gun in his face and they started fighting. During the struggle, David ended up getting shot in the head and died.
Damn,
Gina and Kelvin got away with $30,000 in cash.
for a
But
murder.
it didn't take long for the police to track them down and find out that Gina still had Jay Plowden's laptop.
Goofy.
And as soon as they arrested her, Gina started talking.
Of
She
course.
claimed Kelvin was the one who shot David Taylor and that Max B was the one who set it all up.
Of course.
Max was immediately arrested for murder and robbery charges and held on a $2 million bail. But Max couldn't afford to pay the bail, so he was forced to sit in jail.
Damn.
While he was behind bars, Max's music career continued to go up. Before he went in, he recorded a few tracks for Jim Jones' third album, Hustler's Poem, which dropped in November of '06. Along with his own features, Max also wrote a lot of Jim's verses and hooks,
Okay.
including the lead single, We Fly High.
Oh, Max B
We
wrote
Fly
this?
High ended up being Jim's biggest hit to date and made it to number 5 on the Billboard charts. But while Jim was living the life and enjoying the success, Max B was behind bars, fighting for his life.
Oh,
That's where the beef between Max B and Jim Jones really began.
okay.
Max started doing interviews from jail where he dished Jim for letting him sit in jail. Max claimed that he not only wrote We Fly High, but that he also wrote all of Jim's most popular songs since they first met.
Okay.
Max B also said that Jim Jones owed him credit for all his success, but wouldn't even help pay his bail. Jim later brushed it off in interviews and claimed that Max was over-exaggerating about how much he wrote. While he was locked
But I still feel where Max is coming from, though. You gotta feel him on some personal level type vibes, because what you mean, me and you, like, bro, we came, like, we didn't say we came up together. Like, I'm signed to your label. We mentioned it. We got features on each other, mixtapes, albums, all type. Like, we locked in. And I get locked up, and you blow up off of the grave. It's like that Keith and Vaughn situation. It's not Vaughn. It was somebody else, bro. It was Keith. It was somebody else, like, got locked up on Brother Grave. And all the O Block niggas was trying to get money to buy the bow and keep fast, let it go. I think Dirk, he did that shit with Dirk too. But it's like, it be stuff that go on behind the scenes that we don't know about. So I can't just say Jim Jones a F boy or a fuck nigga, because I don't know what really happened.
up, Max B kept feeding the streets and dropped 2 more mixtapes, Public Domain, $1 Million Baby Radio, and Public Domain 2, The Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I remember
Months
that.
went by, and Max's bail ended up getting dropped to $90,000. That's when Jim Jones came to Max B and offered him a new record deal where Max could use the advance to pay his bail and get out. But the new deal was pretty bad for Max and required him to sign over all his publishing to Jim. Max didn't want to sign the deal, but he also didn't have much of a choice if he wanted to post bail.
Right.
So Max took the deal and ended up getting out after spending 10 months locked up. But when Max B got out, his relationship with Jim didn't get any better. Max was still mad that he was forced into signing a bad deal just to get his freedom back and blamed Jim Jones for taking advantage of him when he was at his lowest point. Not only was he fighting for his life, but about a month before his release, Max B lost his close homie and fellow Bird Gang member, Stack Bundles.
Damn.
On June 11, 2007, Stack Bundles was shot and killed in the lobby of the Redfern houses in Far Rockaway, Queens.
Okay.
Max B and Stack Bundles were close right up to his death, and it really affected Max. Jim Jones was working on a new album and wanted Max B to write for him again so he could get another hit.
Of course.
Max wasn't feeling it and refused to work with Jim, even though he was signed to him. There were also rumors that Jim had a falling out with Cameron and Dipset had broken up.
Yeah.
So Max had no reason to be cool with Jim anymore. So Max B distanced himself from Dipset and started his own crew called Gang Green. Around the same time, Max also started hanging out with another New York rapper who had beef with Jim Jones named
French Montana. That's how they got
French
clicked up.
Montana had a major buzz in New York at the time.
Okay.
With his Cocaine City DVD series. French and Max B knew some people in common, but they could never work together before Max got locked up because of Max's affiliations with Jim Jones and the Bird Gang. According to French Montana, his problem started after Jim Jones lied about having him set up. In 2003, French Montana was leaving a recording studio.
It's crazy.
To a shootout that ended with him getting shot in the head.
Whoa, 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 whoa. This is crazy as hell. Like, we gotta make a second video for this one, because on Photo Grade, I don't want y'all to miss that the whole part. So Photo Grade, so we gotta make a part 2. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. Photo.